If you have just installed Hypercube, there are a couple of initialization screens that you will see. Let me run you through that, why they occur and how to control them in the alpha test version. Here it's saying, do you want to use your last session? Well, we'll say cancel for the moment, which boots us back out. And what it knows how to do, because of the past session's existence, is it knows where the database is. Oh, we're in there. So let's delete that. So now it can't know where the database is because the database isn't there. But the environment variable that tells it that will still be present. Let's look at settings. Here's system settings. Environment variables, there they are. And if we look at the environment variables, we'll find leaf path. Here in the environment variables is how Hypercube knows where to find the last database. So we'll delete that. Now we have no leaf path. So when it opens, it will not ask you, do you want to continue the next session, the last session? It cannot. It will instead say open database because it doesn't know where it is. The leaf path environment variable is missing. It will now be created. All right. And this takes a minute because it's reinitializing the world. And we will put it in this directory. Test. The database file does not exist in the specified directory. A copy of the database will be placed there. It takes a minute to time out for some reason. It's a Microsoft thing. And when the database is present, you will now see the About screen expanded to be an entire form, taking up the entire space of the application. And it will ask you if you want to log in. Now let me show you some things about logging in. I'll exit this. And I will go to that database in Access. And in Access, here's the system application file. And if Hypercube is not listed, not registered in the database as an application, it will know. It will find that the record is missing, and it will give you some forms to initialize the database to perform Hypercube things. Let me show you that. So now, continue with your last session. We know where the database is, so yes. Running initialization tasks, that's because that record in application saying Hypercube is missing. You will now be asked about new users. This is your opportunity to enter your initials as a user, so it recognizes who you are. When you've entered, I'm already in here, but when you've entered new users, all the ones you desire to put in. It will then add the application. It will do all of these things. And there's some more that we'll probably do in the later versions. Now it will ask you to log in. So I have a password. I think that's in this database. Let's see. User initial found. Poof! We are logged in. But one last thing I will show you. When you first install the application, you will not have see, it shows up afterwards. Access is tricky that way. So, but in we're talking about this table, and in this table, this is the hash of my password, and these are my Windows credentials. So if I don't change my Windows credentials, it doesn't need to ask me for a password again, because it knows who I am. So it won't. It will bypass that to save you some trouble. Let's get that back over there. And let me show you that. Continue your last session. No. Open the database. Yeah, we'll open that database. Now when we go to, well, still thinking. When we go to log in, it doesn't know if I'm entering a valid password. Password is empty. A new password is required. Okay. User initials are found. Password is not set. Okay, so in this alpha version, we still show the password. In later versions, we will not show the password, but this was helpful for debugging. New password is accepting. Setting the auto login information. Okay, and we can log in. So now, if we open the application again and say, yes, continue the last session, it knows where the database is, and it knows what your password is. Poof, you're in. No need to re-enter your password or the database location because you told it to continue the last session and use the same ones. So again, unless you change your Windows credentials, you will just go back in and it won't ask you for your password. Windows credentials are, of course, much better engineered than what we can provide in application security, so we just use that in lieu of application security if it is present. That's all. Thank you very much for your time.